Can you use inexpensive plastic from the hardware store, or do you need more expensive greenhouse plastic? I get asked this question a lot, and it's one of the big questions I had before I started to build. The quick answer is no. You should not use the plastic that you find from the hardware store unless it is specific greenhouse plastic. I used 6 mil greenhouse plastic that is meant to last for about 4 years. It's designed to stand up to freezing temperatures so that it doesn't get brittle and crack. Now, I have seen folks use cheaper plastic that is not greenhouse plastic, and they say that it breaks down in the first year, and they have to completely take it off, go ahead and buy the greenhouse plastic and re-put it on. You might be wondering about the color of the plastic. There are a lot of kits that have green plastic or a frosted white plastic. So clear plastic does let most of the light come through, as you might think, and it is recommended. Now, the reason that some of the greenhouse kits have the green plastic or the frosted plastic is because they usually are smaller. Maybe they are 4x4, 4x6, or somewhere around that size, and they can overheat very quickly. They don't have a lot of ventilation. So that colored plastic does cut down on the amount of heat that builds up inside and helps them regulate the temperature a little bit better. But if you have a bigger greenhouse, you'll want to use clear greenhouse plastic. Now, you might have some other questions. You might be wondering, how long will it really last? Is it recyclable? How much will I need? How is it attached? So let's talk about those. So for the brand that I bought, the manufacturer does state that the UV properties last for 4 years. So I know some folks keep it for a little bit longer. I've read their experiences. They've kept it for maybe 5 or 6 years. I really think it just depends on your circumstances, what you're growing, things like that. So mine is about 2 years old at this point, and I'm just going to wait and see how long I can keep it. So the question of, is it recyclable? Now, when I did some research on this, I did find conflicting information. I recommend that you call your local recycling center and ask if they will take polyethylene plastic sheeting. Now, you might also find some uses for this once it's no longer good for the greenhouse. So think of it as a tarp at that point, to haul leaves around, to haul mulch around your yard, cover your raised beds in early spring when you're trying to protect those tender seeds and seedlings from the weather, or used as a barrier or an enclosure when you're doing some woodworking or some spray painting. So how much will you need? My greenhouse is 8 feet by 12 feet, and for that I recommend a roll that is at least 24 by 36 feet. This is going to give you enough plastic so that it extends down the sides and onto the ground a couple of feet, as well as on those awkward ends of the greenhouse to bring it completely down to the ground and then have enough for the doors. And finally, how is it attached to the greenhouse? So I have a wood base on mine, and so it is stapled with a staple gun directly to the wood. And a word of advice here, you will want to use a few pieces of trim that go over top of the plastic and sandwich it in between your wood base and the trim. It keeps the plastic from being pulled up when a heavy wind comes through, and I know from experience that that will happen. I hope that helps answer your questions about what type of greenhouse plastic to use.